how do you think, as we face, of course, the modern challenges of war, of climate change and all that, even the kind of the economy, how do we then bridge that? How can we allow what you're describing, that balancing to happen, and we might evolve or kind of ascend to the next level where technology can be used spiritually and we get more of a balance? How do we approach that? Or how do we kind of manifest that?
That's a great question. I'm going to keep it simple because I think in simplicity we have the truth. Basically, it's all inside of us. So whatever we achieve inside of us impacts our reality. So again, going back to the wounds of Atlantis, if we heal those wounds, if we activate our wisdom, if we return all the skills that we had then we will impact the entire world. So we're lifting up the world through every small shift and transformation that we have inside of ourselves. And it's so easy to think it's just little me. How can I help the world? What I do doesn't have any impact, but it really does, because we're all connected. There's a consciousness of humanity, and every transformation, every realization, however small, it almost goes into that consciousness of humanity and transforms it, and then that transformation filters into everyone else. So it's, as you have a transformation, everyone else in the world has a transformation as well. And we, at the moment, we can't see that. We can't really register it, but we will reach a point where we will see it very quickly, that we have a shift inside of ourselves. Maybe we learn to love instead of judge, or we heal something, or we change a perspective, and we will instantly see in the people around us that has changed as well. I think we will recognize how connected we are, and we're almost like one body, one being, but in separate bodies. And I think that's the way that the upliftment will happen. Well, that's how I believe it will. And I think it's so valuable to remind ourselves that we are really important in this ascension process, because it's so easy to doubt and to think that we're not.
Such a powerful message, Natalie. Yeah.
No, thank you. It's just something that I feel and believe, and because when you have a shift, any kind of shift, you see it in the way that people respond to you differently, and they're impacted by that energy as well. And I think it's the only way really that we can all evolve and rise and achieve our ascension, is through doing the work inside of us. And of course, the more we do it, then people who don't believe or aren't in the spiritual, they will then transform as well, and they will become enlightened. So it's a wonderful way of releasing fear and healing everything that we've created as humanity as well.
Made me think about we actually hold a lot of power. We must trust that we have the power, that all the work that we do, we may not see it immediately as you have described, but it has a rippling effect that contributes to a collective manner. So having faith in that, believing in that, the inner sacredness that we hold, and us, this inner, you made me think about the inner creator, the creative energy that we hold.
And it brings us back to trusting, and as we trust in ourselves, we build our inner power, and that also helps with the battle. If we can learn to use our power for good, for healing, for ascension, that begins to resolve this battle between technology and war and our spiritual selves, our truth. So it's all so connected, and I think everything always comes back to us. We're still unique. The way that I would transform within my being and recognize enlightenment will be completely different to the way that you do. And yet we have the same goal to some extent. We're impacting and supporting as well.